It's 3 a.m. You finally got the baby down. Then it starts, a grunt, the arms jerk, the eyelids flutter half open, and your heart sinks. Awake again? So you scoop them up, and now they really are awake. Here's what almost nobody tells you. That reach is often what wakes a baby who was seconds from sliding back into deep sleep, because a newborn's sleep runs backwards from yours, and most of those waking up moments aren't waking up at all. The pause before you reach in can be the whole difference, but only if you can read what you're actually looking at. Why your sleeping newborn looks wide awake. The surprising job all that twitching is doing. The one move at 3 a.m. that keeps you from waking them. And when a grunt or a breathing change actually means call the doctor, start with the picture that scares you. The twitching, the grunting, the fluttering eyes. What is that? It's a real, normal stage of sleep called active sleep. You have a version of it too. It's REM, rapid eye movement, the dream stage. In a newborn, it just looks busier. They twitch and jerk, make funny sucking faces, grunt and groan, and their eyes drift under closed lids. Even the breathing goes uneven. It can pause 5 to 10 seconds, then burst back to 50 or 60 breaths a minute. That breathing pause scares parents the most, but it's normal. The American Academy of Pediatrics calls it periodic breathing of infancy and says plainly, no cause for concern. The baby's color doesn't change. Here's why it looks so different from your sleep. A newborn's sleep is built almost backwards from yours. You drift down through light sleep into deep sleep and don't reach the dream stage until much later in the night. A newborn dives straight into it. The dream stage is their front door, not a back room. And that's not forever. For the first 2 or 3 months, a newborn falls asleep dream stage first. Then it flips, and they start dropping off the grown-up way, like you do. That dream stage is also huge early on. It fills about half a newborn's sleep. One study measured it, about 50% for a newborn versus about 20% for a young adult, about half versus a fifth. The other half is quiet sleep, still and calm, breathing slow and regular. So how do you tell a noisy sleeping baby from an awake one? Watch the eyes. Loud or quiet. If the eyes stay closed, your baby is still asleep. Okay, it's normal. But why does a sleeping baby jerk and twitch so much in the first place? Those twitches aren't random noise. When a sleeping newborn's foot twitches, the foot's own patch of the brain lights up. A hand twitch lights up the hand's patch. Researchers think each little twitch is the brain teaching itself where the body is, building the body map. One scientist calls it the body's way of discovering itself. So why doesn't the baby lie still the way you do when you dream? Because of something called atonia. In the dream stage, your brain switches your muscles almost all the way off, so you don't act out your dreams. In a newborn, that off switch is still immature, so the twitches slip through. And that big share of active sleep isn't a flaw. It's a feature the brain grows out of, right on schedule. Preterm babies run even higher, around 70 to 80%, at term about half, and it keeps falling to that same adult fifth by age 5. Put it another way, that's about 8 hours a day in active sleep, the brain quietly wiring itself. So this looks awake window comes back again and again all night. So at 3 a.m., what do you do? First, why all night? Your sleep cycle runs about 90 minutes. A newborn's runs roughly 50 to 60, about half as long. And they dive straight into that busy active sleep and keep cycling back through it. So the twitchy window doesn't come once a night. It comes at the start of every sleep and again at every seam between cycles, roughly every hour till morning. And here's the part that takes the pressure off. Every baby wakes over and over, even 1-year-olds. What changes with age isn't how often they wake, but whether they can settle back down on their own. That's called self-soothing, and it shows up around 2 months. Babies resettle after about 28% of wake-ups at 1 month, rising to about 46% by their first birthday. This is why the pause helps. When you hear those little active sleep noises, give it a short moment before you scoop them up, 30 seconds, maybe a minute. A rough guide, not a stopwatch. Just watch. Very often, that's all it takes. They finish the cycle and slide back into deep sleep on their own. The exception, clear crying, hunger, or distress. Then you don't wait, you go. So how do you tell them apart? Still asleep, the sounds are brief and fade on their own, the eyes stay closed or barely flutter, the movements are floppy and aimless, and the baby settles between noises. Awake and needing you, a cry that builds and keeps going, eyes that open and stay open, movements that look purposeful, or rooting, the head turning, mouth searching to feed. Rooting is an early hunger sign, a full-on cry is a late one. And one worry you can drop: you can't spoil a newborn. Under 3 or 4 months, they can't form bad sleep habits yet. So the pause is only ever about reading them first. Never let the baby cry. Underneath all of this, safe sleep, always alone, on the back, in a bare crib. The pause only ever means watching a baby whose fine, blue or gray lips or a heaving chest mean call your doctor now. So tonight, watch the eyes. Closed with fading sounds? Give it a moment. They'll likely settle. If this took some weight off your shoulders tonight, subscribe to Tiny Human Decoded, where we decode the science behind your baby's behavior, one question at a time. You've got this.